take it back to '06. Me and Cuz was in the trench. Fuck who you was if you was not him. Do you trust blood? 100%. Hoes be necking me, not disrespecting me. I smoke incredibly heavily special weed. Only gon' hit it if she a ebony. Watch how you step it. I gotta step it.
What's up, y'all? I am your host, Shay J, and this is my co-host,
Gabby J.
and we want to thank you for watching The Crew Lounge, all right? So welcome back to another episode. So today we're going to talk about rejection. Yeses and no's and all of that. You know what I mean?
Whoa.
Because, I mean, we're in the industry. And so this is not your typical type of job, you know, where you just kind of, you know, go to school and then you kind of just, you know, you apply and then you get a job somewhere and then you work your way up and, you know, so on and so forth. You know what I'm saying? And of course, nothing wrong with those jobs. It's definitely not. You know, I mean, I still have a 9-to-5 as a professor. You know, so no shade at that at all. At all. Sometimes, you know, people have to understand it's a little bit different when we're talking about entertainment industry, because it's not about you going to school and then getting the job and all of that and then just working your way up. It could be very subjective based off of what people like.
And I mean, sorry, I don't mean to cut you
go
off.
ahead,
but also, like, I feel like a lot of us who are not from California or we don't have family or somebody we know who work in the industry, a lot of us only think it's only a few jobs to do as far as directing or holding a camera or acting. Like, I know a lot of people, when I grew up, that's what I thought. A lot of people I still speak to from where I'm from, they think those are the only 3 jobs that you could do in the industry. And so I think with that comes a lot of pushback from I guess older people, or from my experience in particular. I know I got a lot of are you sure? And why would you do that? Like, you understand how expensive it is to live in California, and we're not even talking about the industry, like, you know. And so I know the rejections go a long way. To me, that's just the first part, but rejections go a long way in this industry.
Yeah, it bothers you a little bit more when you know that you've moved your whole life to kind of do that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, it bothers you a little bit more.
Yes.
You know, but at the end of the day, a lot of us we're artists.
Yes.
Right. And so there's a different level
so I'm sensitive about my shit.
Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm sensitive about my shit.
Shout out Erica Badu if y'all don't know.
Exactly. Right. You know, so there's a whole other level of rejection, because it's almost like, you know, when you create art, it's almost like it's a part of you. So
it feels personal. Yeah,
you know what I mean. And for actors, oh my God, I can't even imagine. Like, it's like they're rejecting your face, they're rejecting your presence. You know what I mean? So it can be definitely internalized for like a lot.
So
you know
true.
What I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but this industry is made for people who have thick skins. At the end of the day.
And we say that a lot. And I don't mean to cut you off again.
Yeah, no.
We say that a lot, but I don't know if people really understand like what that means to have thick skin.
Yeah.
Like, I've worked in a lot of different industries. I worked in the in the service industry for a long time, doing customer service, and I've had some terrible experiences with customer service. I had a drink thrown in my face. You know what I'm saying? At work, on the clock.
Wow.
And that still, to me, like pales in comparison to how thick your skin has to be in this industry, and the way people talk to you, especially if you're working on set.
Yep.
There is not, like, people have a very sharp tongue. A lot of people aren't patient. And they will start talking to you like you a 12-year-old on the playground.
Right.
And thick skin is an understatement.
Wild, man. Yeah, you know, and for me as a writer, it's especially a writer who's, you know, that's been my passion since I was a child. To know that the way that you've crafted a story and the things that you're doing is just doesn't cut cut. You know what I mean? The whole mustard, like, it doesn't move to the next level. You know, that could be a lot. You know what I mean? So, but we've learned from that, you know, and there were a couple of big situations in terms of us moving here. And I say us, I mean me and my co-producer and business partner, Tay. You know, we moved here from Florida, and we're definitely gonna, you know, be an episode about that whole experience. That'll be a whole other episode.
In itself.
Yeah, in and of itself, right? But we worked really hard on some projects in terms of a script, right? And I guess I don't know if I say the name of the script. Okay, well, all right.
Our producer saying no.
Say no, don't say the name of the script, right? So, you know, we worked on the script together back in the day, years ago, and it was a really, really good script. It was really, really well done, and you know, it was very innovative, and it was just, we were just very proud of it, you know. And we wrote it for actually another executive. We wrote it for ourselves, but we wrote it based off the idea that we were going to get picked up by this other executive, right? The show was going to get picked up by somebody else, but then they wanted to make some changes and all of that stuff. So we thought that that was going to happen, but it actually ended up in the laps of someone that was at a big network at the time, right? Still a big network, but we won't mention names, right? Still a big network, you know. It's not like the network just crumbled, you know what I'm saying? Because they didn't get our project, you know. No, it's still a big network. Just not mentioning names.
That's real.
Right,
That's
you know?
real.
It's just everything anonymous, you know. They really, you know, we had a showrunner. For those who don't know what a showrunner is, that means that's somebody who is an executive producer that will run the show, and you need one in order to get your show onto television usually, especially if you're talking about a scripted show. You definitely need a showrunner. So basically we had somebody that was going to walk it into this network. And we were so excited, you know, we were just like, oh my gosh. And at the time we were spending a lot of time in Sherman Oaks for some reason. And we just kept thinking, like, oh, we're going to buy a house over here. We're going to do this. We're going to buy this. We're going to do that. We thought we made it. And at that time, we had only been there, that might have been our first year there or our second year there, but we thought we made it. We thought, okay, this is probably 2014, I think it was. And we were like, oh, this is going to be it. We're going to take off. We're going to do all the things, you know. We had never gotten this close to selling something before at the time. And so they told us, hey, this is great, but we need you to do this. And, you know, so we changed it. This is great, but we need it to be an hour, so we changed it. But it didn't matter. We were willing to do as much work as possible because we wanted the deal, right? And then things changed at that particular network, and it fell flat. Basically, they said that they couldn't necessarily continue with it at this time, and our hopes and dreams were dashed. We had so many hopes and dreams. We thought we was gonna be cruising in a yacht.
That's
you know,
so
we
real,
were gonna go to
real.
Florida, where we're from, and we were gonna just flex and do all the things and be, you know,
y'all was ready,
dining at Benihana's and riding the limos. And
did y'all already have those
plans
before, or did the plans come after y'all? Did y'all
honestly,
know?
I think it was after. I would say it was after that because, you know, it just kind of came on. The way things happened seemed sudden in a sense. You know what I mean? So for us, we didn't think that we were going to get a break. Like, oh my gosh, that quickly. We just moved here. And now we're out of here. Now we're going to be on TV. Like, our show's going to be on TV and all the things. And yada, yada. It was just such a big. Yeah. And of course, we had to learn, you know, early in the game that, as Jamaicans say, nothing Augusta. All right? I'm Jamaican, by the way. So. Love it. But nothing Augusta, right? So, meaning that that's just not how things usually work. Yes, that could have happened, but rejection is also a very major part of the industry.
Yes.
Super, you know. So for us to be like, oh, we're going to go and get this and we're not gonna have any hardships, and everyone's just gonna love it, and we're gonna be, and it's just, it's not always realistic. Of course, you hear the stories of people being rejected time and time again.
Absolutely.
The Queen's Gambit, didn't get off for like 30 years, and those things do happen. Avatar, those things, they really do happen. So, it's just, sometimes it's something that we had to, when we had to learn, we had to grow from that. And so you fast forward, same project, because that project is just that hot. It's just that hot, the project.
Fire. Yeah.
It's just a fire project, right? Fast forward to 2017, we had a whole bunch of other people behind the project now, because, once you get rejected, because obviously that company was like, we can't move forward. We picked ourselves back up. We picked ourselves, dusted ourselves off, and we're like, okay. But the project is really good. We just feel like it is. And most people tell us that. So let's continue on. And I guess we had sent it to someone, and they had liked it, and they had wanted to put it under their production company helm. And then it went to a big, huge studio.
So this studio is bigger than the first one.
I would say so.
Okay.
I would say so.
Okay.
I mean, they're pretty decent. They're pretty, but I would think this one is kind of like, kind of massive. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
This is a massive studio, right? Massive network / studio, the whole gamut. It was massive. And we were like, yay. We were kind of taking it slow. I mean, honestly, things were happening. But you have to understand, we had already gotten our heart broken by this other company. And so, we always kind of like, okay, yeah, sure. But of course, as things got closer and closer and closer, and there was paperwork that was actually signed, actual paperwork that was signed, actual contract was signed. There were 2 other companies involved as well in this, and they couldn't come to an agreement. And because those other 2 companies couldn't come to an agreement, the project just stalled. And we realized that it wasn't going to be a go. It wasn't going to be a green light, because not everybody was in agreement with how much ownership that should be had. And we were just writers. We weren't in that fight, but there were some other people who, of course, saw how wonderful and awesome the script is, wanted to be invested in it. We had gotten another showrunner. They just fell in love with the project, and they couldn't come to an agreement on how things should move forward. So then, similar to what happened with the other network, everyone was just like, okay, well, that's just the end of that. Bye, see ya, sayonara, right? So we understood that in some ways it wasn't a rejection of our work, because people did love the work, but the situation kind of rejected us at the time, like the industry did.
And that, I think you wording it that way is very interesting, because there's like a separation between you and the art, and as far as like mentally, like, and I think that a lot of the time we'll take the rejection as like they're rejecting me, like as a person. And do you think that do you think your separation that you have right now between like they were shelving or rejecting that thing, was that active in your mind at the time when you were going through the
like,
shelving?
Did I take it personal?
Yeah,
at any given time?
Was it personal at the time, or was it still like they're just shelving this thing, not me, but that? Like in the moment when you were going through it.
I actually didn't separate anything. I don't think I was in a mindset to really even think about a separation necessarily. I just thought it didn't go. Okay. Like it didn't go. And so that, I guess I didn't think that they were, talking about us personally, because there were people involved that obviously didn't even know us really. You know what I mean? I mean, there were people that did, but there are people that just, they're just trying to do their bottom line for, their company and so on and so forth. So I guess taking it personally wasn't really what happened, but it almost was like at the time, I took it as a universe. I took it personally from the universe. Like, I'm like, how could we get this
far?
Facts.
Facts.
To the point where we're signing a purchase agreement, and then to have it ripped away from us, I didn't even know who to blame. I was mad at a few different parties, at the time, but it was just a lot going on. And so that was probably, I would say, the biggest rejection that the industry has really given to us. That was the biggest rejection. I could, but I will say that we had other situations where people did, again, show interest in the same this project was just it was a hot commodity, even though it hasn't been made as of yet. Mm-hmm. But it still is a pretty hot commodity, and it was burning hot at the time, and so people were just like, okay, we ended up getting to the next person. But I think for us, and maybe I'll speak for myself. I don't know if I can speak for Tay necessarily, but for me, I definitely felt like a little like number every time because I understand that that's the business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So the personal aspect of it that happened in that first company was, oh my God, how could they? Mm-hmm. The second time was even worse because it was like, oh my gosh, how could they? Like, how dare they? And then after that, we had different situations because it went to another network, and then it went to another. It went to a few different places, and it was just like, okay, show and prove. You like it? That's great. We've been here before. I need you to show and prove. Yep. You know what I mean? And of course, for various different reasons, in the other companies that it went to, it just didn't go for whatever reason, various different reasons. But it is currently with another producing group. Yeah. A group of people that are trying to get it produced as well, other producers in the industry. And it's still under contract to be produced or to be as a shopping deal. Yeah. Right now.
You just said a lot, first of all. Yeah. And I know I keep saying this, but I think the beauty of the Crew Lounge is, everyday people like us being able to tell stories like this. Right. And I'm just thinking about so many people who come out here who do different, jobs in the industry, or they make different connections or whatever, and still never get to that point. Like, they'll be out here for years trying to shop a script or whatever, trying to meet the right person, or, you know what I'm saying, just trying to get on that upward trajectory. Like, whose ever train is like going up, like they're trying to latch themselves onto that. Right. And I feel like there's so much education, but also like just heavy knowledge on that particular thing, that you could have a purchase deal and they shelve it, or you can sign a contract and it's like, oh, actually. So like, how do you like not let that impact you as a writer? Like, not let that impact your confidence, knowing that you've been through that with this same script?
Because writing to me is like magic. And so that, to me, the next project and the next project and the next project.
So it's always like the next one.
To me, I'm, and I mean, I don't want to say I'm like against people who do this, but I don't understand people who do this, right? Where you come to LA with one script, one project, and that's just it. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, like, you just live and die by this one project, and you're refusing to change anything in that project, depending on who's coming about and who's coming on it and all that. You're not willing to bend. That's your dream, and I get, and that might work for some people. Yeah, but I think, from a healthy standpoint, a healthy mindset, you can't always be hung up on the one thing, because if you're a creator, you're a creator.
Mm-hmm.
That means that you can create
Yep.
at any given time, at the drop of a hat, there should be something else in the pipeline.
Yep.
There should be something else that you're working on. There should be something else that gives you joy, you know, that gives you excitement, that you can say, okay, well, this didn't work. I'm still going to push this at some given time, but I'm going to move my creative energy here. And if something happens with this one, fine, we're good. But if not, I'm going to create and create and create, because you never know when you're creating the next big thing that could open the door for all the other things that you've ever wanted.
Which is very true, and that's a whole mindset. And I think we touched on this a few episodes ago. Just like what you just said is so important. Like not putting all your eggs in that one basket. And still being able to create regardless. And all of that, to me, falls under the same umbrella as far as the rejections, right? If naturally you're a creator, or if that is what you dream to do, those are your ambitions and aspirations, then it's like, okay, well, they said no, fuck it, I got another one. Like, you know, they want to shelve this, cool, I got other shit.
Right.
But if it's like you said, kind of like, I got this one script. And I feel like there's a lot of people out there who would just bank on that one script. Like, and to them, it's like, if I don't make it, then that's the universe saying this isn't for me, or you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's just a different, because the no's are gonna be there all up and through this industry. And I feel like a lot of people do fall victim to that, because to them it's a tangible excuse. Honestly, if you're like, I tried this and I sent it here and I sent it there and they said no and they said no and these people told me to change it and I wasn't willing to do that. And so for you feel like that is a valid excuse. That was a valid reason for you going back to Iowa, because it was too expensive to stay in California anyway. Your one script didn't work. What everybody told you is true. It's too much competition and they don't like your stuff. And I feel like it takes a different person, a different like mentality to come from where we come from and be like, oh, I signed a contract and it still fell through, but I got other shit anyway. So regardless, I know having conversations with you guys is not only do you guys have other shit, it's like, I will make it on my own. Like, you know, I'll just make it myself. If y'all don't want to do it, if you don't want to give me the money to do it, you don't want to put the backing behind it, that's cool. I'll figure out how to make it myself. And that's another like level and step that I feel like people would use as far as, well, how was I supposed to make it? How was I supposed to do that? Where I get the equipment from? Where do I find the actors? Where do I find the locations? And it's like, but you could do all of that. Like, all of those things are possible. You know what I'm saying?
And I will say, because I love everything you just said. I love everything you just said. And it just made me feel, like it made me think about our feature film, right? Because obviously that didn't go, we didn't end up going back to Florida and being like, okay, you know, we made a feature. So that's how we respond to things. You know what I mean? That's our response.
That fucking part.
Our response. And even with that feature, people told us no. People said, what are you doing? You barely have a budget. What, like, you can't do this. Like, we've gotten no so many times. By the way, check out A Rose in Concrete, streaming on Amazon Prime and Tubi as well. But people said no a bunch of times. Shameless plug. People said no.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, they just was like, nah, like, what are you doing? You don't know what you're doing. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have this, you don't have that, you don't have this. But we did have resources. And we knew
resources, man.
We knew people. And we just said, we're going to make it ourselves. And we did. You know, and we did that. So that was kind of like our response to like the no's. Like, you know, our response to the no's is just, we're going to do it anyway.
Anyway.
Like,
and I feel like
you could be on board or not.
Or not. And I feel like that's a part, that's the mentality you have to have. That's what you have to come in with and come into LA with. Just knowing that regardless of what people say, I'm a you know, move forward anyway. And those are the type of people I like having conversations with. Like, I like talking to the people who are like regardless, no's don't mean anything. I'm just waiting for the one yes, because that's literally all you need.
All you need is one.
You know?
And I mean, it's inspirational. You know, like, I mean, because even though, you know, the stories of Queen's Gambit and others and the like are probably like old and retold and all the
Yep.
things of, you know.
Yeah.
However, I still like hearing them. I still
That
like hearing
part, that
those
part.
stories because
That part.
sometimes it's just not gonna happen overnight. It's gonna happen like, you know, it's
Yep.
just not gonna happen.
Totally agree.
You
with
know,
that.
so what about you? What is something that you might have
Man.
been rejected from in the industry?
I've just had so many rejections, even in the like the workforce, like on set, and you like a crew being a
Right.
crew member. I mean, just talking to people, producers and stuff on different sets who would basically just tell me like, you know, you're never gonna make money in this industry. You might as well just stay being a PA.
Wow.
You might as well stay, you know, first AD. You're probably, somebody actually told me like, as a AD, like they die young. So, you know, you probably won't live long enough anyway. To, like somebody really told me that on a set. Like,
Wow.
you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what is, but just interviewing for jobs, you know, different positions and stuff, and coming in, don't nobody know you. And so it's like, oh, I'm coming in for a production coordinator or whatever role. And they're like, oh, I kind of see you doing this. And then they give that role to a friend who have
Right.
no experience doing
Right.
that. And will constantly remind you that you need to do more. If you just did this part, if you just did this, then you would be, you know, and that just that reminder of like, stay in your place.
Right.
Like, you're not going to be in any of these positions that actually have power or can make decisions or have input, you know, have any type of input, any type of creative input. You don't worry about that. Like, stay a PA, stay, you know, second AD, second, like, you know, and it's, I know that's like very different from like submitting scripts, but I feel like there's just so many like different jobs. There's so many different jobs available in the industry that I have personally been told, don't even apply for that. Like, don't even go out for that because you're probably not gonna get it. Yeah. It
happens. It happens.
You know?
It happens.
So
It happens. And I
Yeah.
got, especially when I first got here, I got passed up for so many like crew roles.
yes.
That I started to think, well, then you know what? Maybe the crewing aspect probably wasn't for me, but I knew the industry is still for me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So
Got that.
Yeah. So
Got
because
that.
I've done some crew stuff, but I threw everything into the writing
Yes,
even more
love
so.
that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But not to say that that's like, you know, that you should do that. Like if you're getting rejected, you should just be like, okay, go do something else.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
that's not what I'm saying at all. You know, I think it's just a matter of like still trying to stay
Yeah.
in the industry, still trying to do the things in the industry, still
Absolutely.
telling yourself yes in certain regards to the
Yes.
industry and to what
Yep.
you really want to do. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? Because I feel like at certain parts I could have been barking up the wrong tree.
Yeah, that's true.
In terms
That's true.
of where I fit in terms of in the industry, when at the end of the day I'm an independent creative for the most part.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah.
I just,
Yeah.
you know, so I threw more into that. But even then with the writing, the rejection is just still, it's rampant.
Yeah.
It just, you know,
Yeah.
sometimes it just happens. You think it's something
Man.
amazing and it's like, nah, for whatever reason.
Come on now.
So, you know, but a lot of times it's not even because it's just, it's not good. It's just,
Yep.
they just didn't pick it because they have a whole bunch of other ones and they probably didn't even read it. And that's a whole other thing.
I'm about to say
It's
that's a
whole
good
other thing.
part. That need to be for the Patreon.
Yeah,
But
that's a whole
that
other
is
thing.
that's a very, very good point. That's a very, and that's why I wanted to ask that question as far as like, you know, for me, I just think I have like, I don't think that my brain works like the average person. So it's like the no's are just leading me to a yes. But
Right.
as far as like going through that particular experience and
Right.
and being able to say or pointing out the fact that it's the next script, like, you know what I'm saying? Not getting so attached to that. So when they reject that, you understand they're not rejecting you. It's just, like you said, it could be a million reasons.
That could
why
be a
this
million. It's
you
not
know.
ready for the industry at this time. It's not ready for the atmosphere. It's not ready. I mean, we've gotten that at the time a black girl protagonist wasn't wanted.
Crazy.
Yeah. That's
Crazy.
what we got for our script, for the script. Like, we got that before, too, from a major company.
That's
But,
real. That's
yeah,
real.
you know, and so sometimes it's not even, and a lot of times, you know, readers aren't always in tune with the story that you're trying to tell, but you do know that there's an audience for the story you're trying to tell. But the readers that they hire, the people that the interns that they get, whatever the case is, it's just like it's not connecting
deep.
with them.
That's deep.
Their lives are different than ours, and it's just there's that too. So
Yep.
because there's always a human aspect in that.
Yep.
So it's kind of along the lines of the Gatekeeper episode. So go back and see that, because that was also an earlier episode. So all right. So what you
episode.
watching?
I'm gonna switch it up on you a little bit today.
All right. Oh, you gonna do a love reality show? Like, she hates love reality shows.
I hate love reality.
Yeah. So, you know.
I'm gonna go even further. I don't know if you're riding with me on this one.
But
I'm watching basketball, man.
oh, okay.
I'm watching
Okay.
basketball.
Okay. Tell everybody a team though.
I'm a Warriors fan.
Yeah, I love Warriors.
Big ups, Stephen Curry.
Let's go, Steph.
Big 30. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go.
And I'm not gonna lie to you. When basketball season's, it's March Madness right now too. Ooh, I'm dating the episode. But like when I have moments that when I'm watching basketball, I don't watch anything else, and that's the only thing I'm watching. I'm either watching games or I'm listening to like podcasts and stuff all day about sports. So I'm kind of like right there right now, where it's like all basketball, sports, shows, podcasts, NBA, March Madness. Yes.
That was a good switch up.
Hit the curveball.
That's a good switch up. I'm not as sports inclined as my co-host. I watch it every now and then. Basketball is my sport if I'm gonna watch anything.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I just watch the Heat get. Anyway, let's not date. Let's not date. But all right. So but what am I watching? Okay, I'm gonna tell. Oh, might be dating it, but I'm just gonna tell you. All right. Watch the movie Locked. All right. We went to go see that in the theaters. Oh my gosh, that was yeah. So it's a movie, not a series, you know. So it's not like I'm currently watching it, but it's something that I just recently watched. I thought it was really good in terms of how it was like it's a producer's dream, and I'm also a producer, so it's a producer's dream because it's like a limited location, one main actor, and then Anthony Hopkins on the speaker, and then you see him at the end, you know. But I thought originally, how are they gonna make this interesting for the whole hour and a half? How are they gonna do that? There's one guy in a car, but they did a really good job of making it interesting. I mean, it's a lot of dialogue and all the things, but it's so interesting. And for somebody who is really like picky about certain things that I watch, that's a good watch. So check that out. It's called Locked. Yeah, with Anthony Hopkins. So,
okay,
really good stuff. And what you working on?
Right now, I am working on an event with my wife called Content and Chill. It's probably be past by the time this come out, but this episode airs. But it's basically an event for business owners who have a hard time creating content, and I basically just go, my wife leads with the strategy, and I just capture their video, and we just have fun just creating shit in a space where, just no holds bars, you know what I'm saying? We don't have to worry about sound or anything like that unless we want to. But for the most part, it's just creating, man, just different forms of content, and I'm super excited for that. So
that's dope.
yeah.
For me, I just finished the script, and I'm just excited about this. This is what it is. Like, I'm just excited.
I love that.
Yeah, I
Brain is still there.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I can say the name of it. Well, what doesn't matter? Okay, but it's a.
She said no.
Yeah, it's our second feature film, and I'm excited, especially.
I'm super excited.
Working with Gabby J and Nadia and Gabby, like everybody, just bringing the magic
It'll be
back.
a good time, man.
So I just recently in another episode talked about being in the zone. I just recently kind of came out of the zone, the writing zone. So
Legit.
Yeah. So it's great. I love it. I'm excited. To make it the best that it can possibly make it. So
Absolutely.
thank you for watching. Thank you for watching the Crew Lounge. All right, please do not forget to.
Shows ain't long enough, man.
Yeah, right. So yeah, please remember to like and subscribe and comment. Also, we want to hear your thoughts. Please click that notification bell as well. And just go ahead and check us out. And 10251025 production company at gmail.com. If you have questions or just want to show us love. We're lovable. All right?
We here, man.
All right, so yeah, stay tuned for another episode. Check y'all out later.
See you
Bye-bye.
next week.
I shine like a god. They see me, they are. They hear me, they nod. Yeah. I'm the boss, I'm in charge. I stand with Nikki, we don't do no frauds. Yeah. Money so tall, money so large. I'm trying to have wards. Yeah. Watch what you say about me. We like some athletes.